Times Square, New York City, East Coast, and that's where we will have Thursday night action. Hours from now at MetLife, we'll go over the weather report. Kim Jones is on the ground. We got to talk Eagles and whether or not they can bounce back after a lot of injuries and not the best part of the season.
There's like tension right now because the Eagles are unraveling. The Giants fans are not happy. This is like the tension bowl to me on the East Coast with people who are usually just pretty chill and relaxed. Giants and Eagles fans, really laid back. Everyone's on a 10 right now. I feel like tonight's game is going to decide a lot of things.
This guy knows something about this market. Bart Scott joining us.
Oh, I tell you what, that nail is right there, right? Somebody's going to get that one nail in that coffin early. You know, last year it was a 61-yard field goal that kind of sunk the Giants. Last week it was a 63. Let's see how they respond to the game after, because if they lose this game, TikTok.
We'll see if they can build on that performance.
Can you dog mask your way out of 2-4 to start the season? I just don't think you can. I don't think it can happen. No mask, no speech.
It's not easy being the favorite,
I just feel like in this division, we don't know yet. We don't know what is what, and it's wide open. That's why it's so exciting. We are so pumped up and ready to go for Thursday night football. It is time for the
Lead Block.
Say it, Bart. Say lead block.
Lead Block.
Good job. All right, let's bring in Kim Jones. She's there at MetLife getting us set for this game. And tonight the Giants do have something going for them. They get a huge piece of their defense back in Olivier Vernon. What does his presence mean for the Giants, and what does it mean for Carson Wentz?
Okay, the Giants hope it means that their defense gives up fewer than they're averaging, which is 25 points a game. And Carson Wentz, in his 3 starts back, the Eagles are 1-2 in those games, but he's had an above 100 passer rating under pressure in those contests. So he is still performing well under the heat of a defense. Now let's get to the most obvious change since I last joined you, and that's behind me. The tarp is now on the field. In fact, it's covering almost the entire field. They'll have the entire field covered relatively shortly. I'm told a downpour expected at 10:30, a thunderstorm perhaps, and then at 4 o'clock when Ian Rappaport will be joining me right here on this field, they are expecting heavy rain. So we all have that to look forward to today in what I would submit to you is an absolute must-win for the New York Giants. Sure, the Eagles would love to get their 3rd win and take the division lead, but for the 1-win Giants, an absolute must-win tonight, no matter the conditions, Kay.
We'll see if Eli and company can string together and build on that performance from Week 5. But despite a loss, there seems to be something galvanizing them, whether it was Odell or not. We'll dig into all of that and appreciate you, Kim Jones, for getting us set. Now, on the Eagles side, they're dealing with so many injuries. Eagles safety Rodney McLeod injured his knee Week 3 against the Colts. He's now out for the season. Look at the difference between the first 3 weeks and the last 2 weeks. The Eagles have allowed almost 60 more passing yards per game since McLeod went down. Meanwhile, Eli Manning's yards per attempt, his passer rating to wide out Odell Beckham this season, are at a career low. So to me, this comes down, it's going to be 2 things. It'll be Eli and Odell, and a little bit of Saquon, of course, up against that Eagles secondary. Who gets their groove back, guys?
Who gets it back?
You know, it's funny, Kay, we've talked a lot about the Giants in the start of the show, but the Eagles, to me, are an even bigger problem. When you win a Super Bowl and you win it from having this incredible heroic run, this miraculous, and then the next year to come back, they're playing bad football. I went back and watched. That Ajayi fumble last week was a terrible fumble. They have had really inopportune turnovers. They've had horrible red zone play. This is not a Super Bowl championship team. And yet, like you said, no one in that division has played any better. The Giants haven't played better. The Redskins haven't played any better.
So
and certainly the Cowboys haven't. No, not a missed opportunity. In fact, you look at it right now and you say, all right, here we go, Week 5. The defensive backfield can look at it and say, I know we've been lit up this season. We could turn things around. It's still in the middle of the fight. So I'm going to say the defensive backs have their way tonight with the Giants offense. And the reason why is because that front 7 from the Eagles is going to dominate that Giants offensive line. The Giants offensive line is among the worst in the league. And unless Odell and Eli can find some magic powder from 4 days ago that they can keep on going, I don't see it happening. I think the Eagles have a field day and their defense finds their groove. The defending champions look like the defending champions tonight.
Bart?
Well, I think to your point, I think that they're going to be able to get to Eli, but I think they go back and when you look at that Eagles secondary, they're falling for the banana in the tailpipe. They're falling for double moves. They're sitting at the sticks and guys are falling for banana in the tailpipe. I think they go to that cover 2 defense. What's been giving the Giants so much problems because it forces you to methodically move the ball down the field. You're hoping that struggling offensive line doesn't get a holding penalty, doesn't get a procedural penalty. So I'm thinking that the Eagles defense get their groove back. but I don't think it's enough to get the victory. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know
I
yet.
think we can upset
It's
pick here.
Eli and it's Odell.
What do
We're
you
talking
think?
the secondary. They're banged up. Without McLeod over the last 2 weeks, they're allowing over 300 yards a game. I'm going to believe in the talent of Odell Beckham Jr. He's not had a great start to his season, and he only has 1 touchdown, but he's still 5th in receiving on the year. And we're talking rain, and they're not going to be able to get, like, rain doesn't matter to me in this game. You can speak to this a little bit,
Not at
but rain at MetLife sounds to me like a slant taken 70 yards, 80 yards downfield by Odell Beckham Jr. That sounds like a perfect recipe and weather forecast for him to take one to the house, a short slant, and I think that's what we're going to see tonight. They find their groove because they have to, and they're too damn talented to not.
Normally I would completely agree with you because the Eagles secondary is like a wounded animal right now. But I just think Jim Schwartz is one of those guys at home who's just clicking refresh on the weather app and the Doppler. I think the coin toss tonight should come from Jim Cantori. I think we need Al Roker, Jillian Barbary. If you haven't been paying attention, 100% chance of rain, flash flood warning, potential flooding. I'm telling you, there is a chance. I know that they're without McLeod, but they do have the clouds. And I think that will be the biggest asset tonight because I know, Bart, you've talked about it, and I want to hear more. But there it is. That's a live shot, even though it's morning right now, of outside MetLife.
That's not real.
No, it's 100% real. We have a live feed.
That's
It's
from the day after
frozen
tomorrow.
lightning.
Just predicting
Emmy
I'm
Rossum.
just envisioning our producers Googling lightning strike.
Stock image lightning strike. They just tossed out Emmy Rossum, which I think should win an Emmy Award.
The
I
day
agree.
after tomorrow.
100% Gyllenhaal.
Great movie.
Great.
Tell me about the weather situation. Doesn't it sound like Odell, even if they can't go deep, they can just get it to him and down the
See,
field?
what people don't realize is the ball is easier to catch, I believe, when it's wet because, with these new gloves, they get sticky. You want to take off the sticky gloves, you want to go with the leather gloves. So leather on leather is going to stick. And also what happens with the rain, with all the draining systems, all the beads and the rubber beads, it takes the air pockets out. So now what happens is it compacts it. And now you actually have more tread than you would normally have if it was a dry, hot day. Because you see a hot, dry day, you see guys trying to turn the corner, and you see the beads flop up. You see it all over their face. When it rains, it actually compacts it. So I don't think the surface will be a problem.
Our field
You're like Mr.
specialist
Wizard.
here.
That was incredible. Sorry, Brinkus.
Sorry, John Brinkus. Exactly.
I stayed in a Holiday Inn Express.
Wow, Scott with the
Smarter.
sports science. Gotta love that. We'll be back after this breaking down both sides of this match.